Welcome everyone to this reading of this book, A Course of Love by Mari Perron, First Receiver. This is a book group and I will go ahead and start reading for this session. We begin with chapter 3, the first lesson. So come on in. I welcome you, whether you're here live now or you're watching later on the line on the YouTube. Come on in and have something that you like to drink or a mug of something yummy and just fall into this reading. Allow it to sink into you as you listen or as you read. Read slowly and enjoy. Chapter 3, the first lesson. Love is. It teaches by being what it is. It does not do anything. It does not strive. It neither succeeds nor fails. It is neither alive nor dead, and thus it always was and always will be. It is not particular to you as human beings. It is in relationship to everything, all to all. Just as true knowledge cannot be learned, love cannot be learned, and you cannot be learned. All that you desire and cannot learn is already accomplished. It is accomplished in you. It is you. Imagine the ocean or the cheetah, the sun or the moon, or God Himself attempting to learn what they are. They are the same as you. All exist within you. You are the universe itself. It is a shared universe with no divisions. There are no sections, no parts, no inside, no outside, no dreams, and no illusions that can escape or hide, disappear, or cease to be. There is no human condition that does not exist in all humans. It is completely impossible for one to have what another does not have. All is shared. This has always been true and is endlessly true. Truth is truth. There are no degrees of truth. You are not form, nor is your real world. You seek the face of God in form as you seek for love in form. Both love and God are there, but they are not the form that your body's eyes see. Just as these words you see upon this page are symbols only of meaning far beyond what the symbols can suggest, so too is everything and everyone around you, those you see and those you can only imagine, to seek the face of God, even in the form of Christ, is to seek for what is forever without form. To truly see is to begin to see the formless. To begin to see the formless is to begin to understand what you are. All that you now see are but symbols of what is really there before you, in glory beyond your deepest imaginings. Yet you persist in wanting only what your eyes can see and hands can hold. You call these things real and all else unreal. You can close your eyes and believe that you are in the dark, but you will not believe that you are no longer real. Close your eyes on all that you have become accustomed to seeing, and you will see the light. In the light that comes only to eyes that no longer see, you will find the Christ who abides in you. In Jesus Christ, the Son of God became the Son of Man. He walked the world with a face much like your own, a body with 2 legs and 2 arms, 10 fingers and 10 toes. And yet you know this was not Jesus, nor is this a picture of the Christ. Jesus gave a face to love, as you do here as well. But love did not attach itself to form and say, "This is what I am." How can anything have a form except in symbols? A family crest, a mother's ring, a wedding band are all the same. They but represent what they symbolize in form. There is no form that is not thus. A form is but a representation. You see 1,000 forms a day with different names and different functions, and you think not that they are all the same. You place values on each one based on usefulness or pleasant appearance, on popularity or on reputation. Each one you place in relationship to yourself, and so you do not even see the form as it is, but only as it will do for you. You imprison form within your meaning, and still your meaning is truer than its form. You give all meaning to everything, and thus you populate your world with angels and with demons, their status determined by who would help you and who would thwart you? Thus, do you determine your friends and your enemies, and thus you have friends who become enemies, and enemies who become friends. While a pencil may essentially remain a pencil in your judgment, at least as long as it has all the qualities that you have determined that a pencil should have. Few people can exhibit the qualities you have predetermined that they should possess at all times and in all places. And so one disappoints and another enthralls. One champions your cause and another denigrates you. In all scenarios, you remain the maker of your world, giving it its causes and effects. If this can be so, how can the world be anything but symbolic, with each symbol's meaning chosen by you and for you? Nothing is what it is, but only what it is to you. Into this rank confusion is brought a simple statement: love is, never changing, symbolizing only itself. How can it fail to be everything or to contain all meaning? No form can encompass it, for it encompasses all form. Love is the light in which form disappears, and all that is seen as it is. You who are looking for help, wonder now how this would help you. What is there left to say that has not been said? What are the words but symbols, but by my own admission? It is in what they symbolize that help arrives. You do not need to believe in the words nor the potential of the exercises to change your life. For these words enter you as what they are, not the symbols that they represent. An idea of love is planted now in a garden rich with what will make it grow. Everything has birth in an idea, a thought, a conception. Everything that has been manifested in your world was first conceived within the mind. While you know this is true, you continue to believe you are the effect and not the cause. This is partially due to your concept of the mind. What you conceive it to be, it will be to you. While many teachings have attempted to dislodge this concept that you hold so dear, because you use the mind to deal in concepts, you have been unable to let new learning have its effect. This is because you believe your mind is in control of what it thinks. You believe in a process of input and output, all completely human and scientifically provable. The birth of an idea is thus the result of what has come before, of seeing something old as new, of improving on a former idea, of taking various information and collecting it into a new configuration. What has this meant for learning that is not of this world? It means that you filter it through the same lens. You think of it in the same way. You seek to gather it together so that it will provide an improvement to what has been before. You look for evidence that shows that if you behave in a certain way, things will happen as a result. Like a child learning not to touch a stove because it is hot and a burn will result, or learning that a warm blanket is comforting. You subject it to 1,000 tests dependent on your senses and your judgment. Why you believe you know what will hurt you and what you will find comforting. You subject what cannot be compared to the comparable. Think not that your mind, as you conceive of it, learns without comparison. Everything is true or false, right or wrong, black or white, hot or cold, based solely on contrast. One chemical reacts one way and one reacts another, and it is only in the study of the two that you believe learning takes place. You've not given up the idea that you are in control of what you learn, nor have you accepted that you can learn in a way that you have not learned before. Thus, we move from head to heart to take advantage of your concepts of the heart, concepts much more in line with learning that is not of this world. These words of love do not enter your body through your eyes and take up residence in your brain, there to be distilled into language that you can understand. As you read, be aware of your heart. For this is where this learning enters and will stay. Your heart is now your eyes and ears. Your mind can remain within your concept of the brain, for we bypass it now and send it no information to process, no data for it to compute. The only change in thinking you are asked to make is to realize that you do not need it. What this will mean to you goes far beyond the learning of this course. One such concept, given up and not replaced, will free you beyond your deepest imaginings and free your sisters and brothers as well. Once one such concept is felt, others follow quickly, but none is more entrenched than this one, the one we begin today to let fall away. You who have been unable to separate mind from body, brain from head, and intelligence from knowledge, take heart. We give up trying. We simply learn in a new way, and in our learning realize that our light shines from within our heart, our altar to the Lord. Here, the Christ in us abides, and here we concentrate our energies and our learning, soon to learn that what we would know cannot be computed in the databanks of an overworked and over-trusted brain, a mind we cannot separate from where we believe it to be. Our hearts, in contrast, go out to the world, to the suffering, to the weak of body and of mind. Our hearts are not so easily contained within the casing of our flesh and bone. Our hearts take wing with joy and break with sadness. Not so the brain that keeps on registering it all, a silent observer, soon to tell you that the feelings of your heart were foolishness indeed. It is to our hearts we appeal for guidance, for there resides the one who truly guides. You who think this idea is rife with sentiment, sure to lead you to abandoning logic, and thereafter certainly to cause your ruin. I say to you again, take heart. Such foolishness as your heart's desires will save you now. Remember, it is your heart that yearns for home. Your heart that yearns for love, remember. Your heart that leads the way that, should you follow, will set you certainly on the path for home. What pain has your heart endured that it has failed to treasure for its source? Its source is love. And what greater proof need you of love's strength? Such pain as has your heart endured would surely be a knife to cut through tissue, a blow that the brain would stop all functioning, an attack upon the cells far greater than any cancer, The pain of love, so treasured that it cannot be let go, can and does indeed attack the tissue, brain, and cells. And then you call it illness and allow the body to let you down, still and always holding love until yourself. Must pain accompany love and loss? Is this the price you pay, you ask, for opening up your heart? And yet, should you be asked if you would have other than this love, you would not answer yes. What else is worth such a cost, such suffering, so many tears? What else would cause you, excuse me, what else would you not let go when pain comes near, as a hand would drop a burning ember? What other pain would you hold closely, a grief not to be given up? What other pain would you be so unwilling to sacrifice? Think not that these are senseless questions, made to bring love and pain together, and there to leave you unaided and unhelpful. For pain and love kept together in this way makes no sense, and yet makes the greatest sense of all. These questions merely prove love's value. What else do you value more? Your thoughts might lead you to a dozen answers now, more for some and less for others. Your answers, depending on the tenacity of your thoughts, which, led by your ego, led by your ego, would throw logic in love's way. That was my cat sneezing, sorry. Some others might use their thoughts in yet another manner, claiming to choose love and not pain, when what they really choose is safety at love's expense. No one here believes they can have one without the other, and so they live in fear of love, all the while desiring it above all else. Think you not that love can be kept apart from life in any way? But we begin now to take life's judgment from it, the judgments gained by your experience, judgment based on how much love you have received and how much love has been withheld from you. We begin by simply accepting the proof we have been given of love's strength. For this we will return to again and again as we learn to recognize what love is. Chapter 4, Love's Equity. This is on page 32. Do you have to love God to know what love is? When you love purely, you know God whether you realize it or not. What does it mean to love purely? It means to love for love's sake, to simply love, to have no false idols. False idols must be brought to light, and they are seen as the nothing that they are before you can love for love's sake. What is a false idol? What do you think love will get you? You are entitled to all that love would give, but not to what you think love will provide for you through its acquisition. This is a classic example of not recognizing that love is. Love and longing are so intimately attached because they joined together at the moment of separation, when a choice to go away from love and a choice to return were birthed in unison. Love was thus not ever lost, but shadowed over by longing that placed between you and your source, both obscured its light and alerted you of its eternal presence. Longing is your proof of love's existence. For even here, you would not long for what is not remembered. All your long search for proof of God's existence ends here when you recognize what love is. And with this proof of your existence established as well. For in your longing for love, you recognize as well your longing for yourself. Why would you wonder who you are and what your purpose here is all about, if not for your recognition, given witness by your longing of what you feel you are not, but truly are? All fear ends when proof of your existence is established. All fear is based on your inability to recognize love, and thus who you are and who God is. How could you not have been fearful with doubt as powerful as this? How can you not rejoice when doubt is gone and love fills all the space that doubt once occupied? No shadows linger when doubt is gone. Nothing stands between the child of God and the child's own source. There remain no clouds to block the sun, and night gives way to day. Child of God, You are alien here, but need not be alien to yourself. In your knowledge of yourself, all threat of time and space and place dissolves. You may still walk in alien land, but not in a fog of amnesia that obscures what would be a brief adventure and places it and replaces it with dreams of terror and confusion so rampant that no toehold of security is possible, and day turns endlessly into night in a long march toward death. Recognize who you are, and God's light goes before you, illuminating every path and shining away the fog of dreams from which you waken undisturbed. Love alone has the power to turn this dream of death into a waking awareness of life eternal. Yearning, learning, seeking, acquiring, the need to own, the need to keep, the grasping call, the driving force, the chosen passion. All these things that you have made to replace what you already have will lead you back as surely as they can lead you astray. Where what you have made will lead rests only on your decision. Your decision, couched in many forms, is simply this: to proceed toward love, or to withdraw from it, to believe it is given or withheld. Love is all that follows the love of God, the law of God in your world. I read that again. Love is all that follows the law of God in your world. All else assumes that what one has is denied another. While love cannot be learned nor practiced, there is a practice we must do in order to recognize love's presence. We practice living by the law of love, a law of gain, not loss, a law that says the more you give, the more you gain. There are no losers, no winners under God's law. Not one is given more than another. God cannot love you more than your neighbor, nor can you earn more of God's love than you have, or a better place in heaven. The mind, under the ego's direction, has thrived on winners and on losers, on striving for and earning a better place. The heart knows not these distinctions. Those who think their hearts have learned them by being battered and abused by their existence here rejoice in knowing that it is not so. This seeming illusion is believed in because your mind has made it so. Your thoughts have reviewed and reviewed again all the pain that love has brought. It dwells on those occasions when love has failed because it does not recognize that love cannot fail. Your expectations and false perceptions of your brothers and sisters are what have caused you to believe that love can fail, be lost, withdrawn, or turn to hate. Your false perception of your father is what has caused all other perceptions to be false, including the one you hold of your own self. When you think of acting out of love, your thoughts of love are based on sentiment and must be challenged. Love is not being nice when you're feeling sorry. Love is not doing good deeds of charity and service. Love is not throwing logic to the wind and acting in foolish ways that pass as gaiety but cannot masquerade as joy. You have an image in your mind of someone you believe knows what love is. This is perhaps an elderly person who is always kind and gentle, with no cross word for anyone, and no concern for his or her own self. This is perhaps a mother whose love is blind and self-sacrificing. Still others of you might imagine a couple long married in which each person is devoted to the other's happiness, or a father whose love is unconditional, or a priest or minister who guides unfailingly. For each or any of these that you admire, you give attributes that you do not have and that you might one day acquire when the time is right. For that kind and gentle stance you do not believe will serve you now. That blindness and self-sacrifice is something to be gained at too high a price. That devotion you might think is fine for one whose partner is loving more than your own. That unconditional love is great, but must it not be tempered by good judgment? And surely that ability to guide others must be earned through the acquisition of wisdom, not within your reach. Thus, your image of love is based upon comparison. You have chosen one who demonstrates that which in you is most lacking, and you use that image to chastise yourself while saying, this is what you want. Your ideas of being in love are quite another category altogether. In this context, love is not only full of sentiment, but romance. This stage of love is seldom seen as lasting or as something that can be maintained. It is the purview of the young and the daydream of the aging. It is synonymous with passion and an overflow of feelings that defy all common sense. To be in love is to be vulnerable, for one's common sense has failed to keep you acting as unexpected. You might forget your guard. You might forget to guard your heart or to keep your real self in hiding. How dangerous indeed is such an act in a world where trust can turn to treachery. Each one of you has held an ideal of what the perfect mate would mean, an ideal that changed over time. Those most bound by the ego might think of stature and of wealth, of physical beauty, and the trappings of good upbringing. Those most insecure will believe in a partner who will shower him or her with praise and gifts, with attention never wavering. Another who prizes independence seeks a partner in good health, not too demanding, a companion and a lover who will be convenient within a busy life. You believe you can fall in love with the wrong person and make a better choice based upon criteria more important than love. You thus believe love is a choice, something to be given to some and not to others. You hope to be a winner in this game you play, a chosen one who will have each ounce of love that is given returned in kind. This is a balancing act. You play with God's most holy gift, resenting giving love that gains you little in return. And yet, in this resentment, you recognize the truth of what love is. In no other idea of life do you expect such fairness, such exchange of equal value. You give your mind to an idea, your body to a job, your days to activities that do not interest or fulfill you. You accept what you are paid within certain boundaries you have set. You expect that a certain amount of prestige will follow certain accomplishments. You accept that some tasks have to be done for survival's sake. You hope there will be some fairness here in what you give and what are given back. You hope your hard work will produce results. The dinner you prepare be eaten with delight. Your ideas greeted as inspired. But this you do not expect. You often, in fact, expect the reverse to be the case and are grateful for each acknowledgement the world gives you for the ways in which you spend your days. For spend your days you do, and soon that spending will deplete the limited number of days in store for you, and you will die. Life is not fair, nor meant to be, you claim, but love is something else. In this, you are correct, for love is nothing like your image of your life and has no resemblance to how you spend your days or the way your days will end. Love is all that is set apart in your perception from what you do here. You think this setting apart gives love little relevance to other areas of your life. Love is seen as a personal, something Another gives in a special way to you alone, and you to him or her. Your love life has nothing to do with your work life, your issues of survival here, your ability to achieve success, or the state of your health and general welfare. Even you do not recognize what love is, protect what you call love from the illusions you have made. A thing set apart from the madness of the world is useful now. It may not be what love is, but what love is has guided you in choosing to set love apart from what you call the real world, from that which is in fact the sum total of what you have made. The world you struggle so to navigate is what you have made it, a place where love fits not and enters not in truth. But love has entered you and leaves you not, and so you too must have no place in this world that you have made, but must have another place where you are at home and can abide within love's presence. The lucky ones among you have made a place resembling home within your world. It is where you keep love locked away behind closed doors. It is where you return after your forays into the world that you have made, and upon entering, believe you leave the world's madness outside your door. Here you feel safe and gather those you love around you. Here you share your day's adventures, making sense of what you can and leaving out the rest. And here you gain the strength you need to walk outside those doors again another day. You spend your life intent upon retiring to this safe place you have made of love in a world of madness, and hope that you will live to see the very day when you can leave the madness behind, and that you will still find love behind the doors you have passed through so many times in a journey spent earning your right to leave it no more. Some would call such a life selfish and wonder how the occupants of this semi-happy dream have earned the right to turn their backs upon the world even for the scanty hours that they can make believe they can do so. Full-scale interaction with the world of madness is all that some are willing to accept of others or themselves. These are the angry ones. They would demand that others bring what love they have into the madness, to take responsibility for the mess that has been made, to attempt to restore order to chaos, anything so that the angry ones feel less alone with what their anger shows them. Love, they say, cannot be set apart, and so they feel love not, nor see it either. Yet they too recognize love for what it is when they scream, "You cannot have it while all these do not. You cannot hoard it to yourself when so many are in need." Everywhere you look is proof of love's difference found. This difference is your salvation. Love is not like anything or everything else that goes on here. And so your places of worship, love has been built. Your sacraments protect love's holiness. Your homes host those you love most dearly. Thus has your perception of love prepared you for what love is. For within you is the altar for your worship. Within you has love's holiness been protected. Within you abides the host who loves all dearly. Within you is the light that will show you and what love is, and keep it not set apart from life any longer. Love cannot be brought to the world of madness, nor the world of madness brought to love. But love can allow a new world to be seen, a world that will allow you to abide within love's presence. Take all the images of love set apart that you have made and extend them outside love's doors. What difference would a world of love make to those who lock their doors upon the world? How vast the reaches where their world of love could extend once love joined the world. How little need for the angry ones to retain their anger when love has joined the world. For love does join the world, and it is within this joining that love abides only as itself. The world is but a reflection of your inner life, the reality unseen and unprepared for by all your strategy and defenses. You prepare for everything that goes on outside yourself and nothing that occurs within. Yet it is a joining that occurs within that brings about the joining of the world. For all the world to see. This joining of the world within is but your recognition of what love is. Safe and secure within you and your brother as you join together in truth. Think you not that this joining is a metaphor, a stirring of pleasant words that will bring you comfort if you heed them. One more of sentiment in a world where lovely words replace what they would mean. This joining is the goal you seek, the only goal worthy of love's call. This goal is set apart from all others as love is here. A goal that touches not on what you perceive to be a loveless world. It has no relation to the world outside you, but every relation to the world within, where, in love's presence, both outer and inner worlds become as one, and led beyond your vision to the world that you have seen and called home. This foreign world where you have been so lonely and afraid will linger for a while, for it can terrify you no longer, until finally it will fade away into the nothingness from which it came, as a new world rises up to take its place. So this brings us to the end of chapter 4, and we'll begin chapter 5 next time, called Relationship. So we'll save that for next time. Thank you, thank you, thank you all who listen later or joining me now. Thank you all for this book group of A Course of Love by Mari Perron, First Receiver. Thank you, thank you, thank you. See you next time.